Ladies and gentlemen, it really feels like the Baltimore Ravens are going all in for the 2026 season. They are going all in this new era of Jesse Minter football in Baltimore. Because the way that they have just totally overhauled their coaching staff, made a ton of new moves, brought a ton of new and young talented coaches in the building, to me, it's been really, really telling. Because it feels like Baltimore is ready to transition into this new era of the game. And I think that was the thing that was kind of frustrating towards the end of time with John Harbaugh as your head coach, is that he kind of refused to transition into a new era. I don't want to say he was stuck in his ways, but he was a guy that always had to rely on other coaches to do his coordinating for him because he wasn't an X's and O's. He was more of a CEO type coach. And so it was hard for him to make those transitions. And additionally, it was hard for him to make those transitions because at the end of the day, 63 years old, been in this league a very, very long time. And I love the fact that they're transitioning to a younger age of a coaching staff. I mean, your head coach was just 63, now he's 42. Defensive coordinator, did get 12 years older. Offensive coordinator, 60 years old. I mean, you had a bunch of geese jobs on that coaching staff last year. You go all the way down to 29 years old with Declan Doyle. Your average age last year, 51 years old. Average age this year, 13 years younger at 38.66. Oldest guy of your head coach, defensive coordinator, and offensive coordinator is 45 with Anthony Weaver. And I don't know about you guys, but at least to me, it feels like there's a youth movement in the National Football League. Like if you think of all the best head coaches across football, a lot of those guys are really young. Like, of course, you've got your Andy Reids and your Sean Paytons up at the top. But, like, other than that, it's Sean McVay, it's Kyle Shanahan, it's Mike McDonald. Like, it's a lot of those younger guys who have had really, really impressive careers as head coaches so far. And you look back to last year. It proves kind of it's a good idea to maybe go a little bit younger, right? Ben Johnson, 39. Guess what? They're the number 2 seed. Pete Carroll, 74. Guess what? He doesn't have a job right now. He's in Cancun. Mike Vrabel, 50. He doesn't count. Everybody knew Mike Vrabel was a slam dunk. Aaron Glenn, 53. That's not really going so well in New York. Liam Cohen, 40 years old. They were the number 2 seed in the AFC. Brian Schottenheimer, 52. They've been fine. Kellen Moore, 37. Been doing a lot more things with the New Orleans Saints in year one than I think a lot of people thought he might. The year before that, the Chargers went ahead and got Jim Harbaugh, 60. Now, Jerome Mayo did not really work out at 38. Neither did Brian Callahan at 40 or Antonio Pierce at 45. But, like, you go Mike McDonald, 37. Dave Canales at 43. This is just kind of to show you the way that things have been moving when it comes to your head coaches. And additionally, the thing that it feels like Baltimore is kind of pushing all the chips in and going all in on is you're switching up your offensive and defensive philosophies to things that are proving to be a little bit more beneficial in the National Football League, things that are working for other teams and other coaches across the NFL. Like, you got Declan Doyle in the building now. He is a Ben Johnson and Sean Payton disciple. So in my mind, he'll kind of combine McVay-style coaching with Sean Payton because of his influences from there, and Ben Johnson has a little bit of influences from Sean Payton as well, but also some Sean McVay too. It'll be a nice little mixture of both things. And the funny thing is that was Sean Payton, who was in the AFC Championship game, and who am I trying to say? Sean McVay was in the NFC Championship game. We brought Jesse Minter in here, the Mike McDonald type defense, right? New philosophy. I guess an old philosophy because it was the one that Mike McDonald had here in 2023 that made this Ravens defense the best in the league then and just won the Seattle Seahawks the Super Bowl. I think another cool thing is the fact that they're all in on younger college coaches filling out a lot of this staff, especially on the defensive side of the ball, which is the side that I would want them to fill out younger coaches for because Jesse Minter's running the whole thing. Just go get a bunch of guys that you believe are going to be able to develop talent in the National Football League. You brought in Lou Esposito from Michigan, defensive line coach. Harland Bower, offensive outside linebacker coach from Duke. Mike Mickens, defensive backs coach, pass game coordinator from Notre Dame. PJ Volker, safeties coach from Navy. Like, my one reservation about Minter was that he'd been here with Harbaugh before. And, like, I was kind of worried about maybe not a full changing of the guard. But, man, everything I've seen from the first 3.5 weeks of this new regime, he is all in, shaking things up in a completely new way that I think is going to benefit this team in 2026. Are you excited about this new coaching staff? If you are, do me one big favor. Hit that thumbs up button and like today's video. For the last half of today's show, we're going to dip into the mailbag from our Ravens live mailbag. We got a ton of questions to get into from the best Ravens fans across the country. Hey, JD, let's start with those super chats. I just threw that in the script. Let's go ahead and start with Yeecaw. Great, I love this one. Hey, Joey, is there someone in the draft that you don't want that will make you flip tables if they do draft him? That's a great question, Yeecaw. So if you guys watched me last year for any amount of time, Shamar Stewart was my flip tables player last year. And I'm so happy the Baltimore Ravens didn't draft him. And I'm so happy that the Cincinnati Bengals were the team that ended up doing so, because I knew at the time it was going to be a massive, massive mistake. One of my least favorite things about the NFL draft is we watch these players play college football, right? We watch them play football, which is the same sport we play in the National Football League, right? Makes sense. But then for some reason, we want to abandon everything they've done production-wise over the last 3 seasons, just because they can run fast, jump high, throw hard, shuttle well, all in spandex. Like, to me, when it comes to the NFL draft, I like production over projection a lot. Now, can projection hit every now and then? Yeah, for sure, it can. But the bust rate is so much higher. So, to answer your question, Peter Woods right now is that guy for me, okay? I think he's fallen down draft boards. When we looked at draft boards about like 2 months ago, he was very, very high. He's being mocked to Baltimore in a couple of mock drafts like back in December. I would not be very happy with that. I don't think Peter Woods is going to be that great of a player in the NFL. Christian Malley, what are the biggest draft needs for the Ravens? That's a great question, Christian. I think my 3 biggest draft needs for the Ravens are as follows: offensive line and defensive line. I think that's 1A and 1B. However, with defensive line, it's like interior and edge rusher. So it's both of those. I think cornerbacks in there as well. I think wide receivers in there as well. I think linebacker. All right, I know I said I'd give you 3, and I ended up giving you 5 or 6. But I think that just shows you that, yeah, you got a lot of really good players on this roster, but there still are some holes to fill. But offensive line, defensive line, in my opinion, that is 1A, that is 1B. That is what I want the Ravens to address in rounds 2 and 3, or 1 and 2 in the NFL draft. They can address them in either order. We got more questions coming up in a second, but I got to give a big shout out to our friends over at Ethos, the sponsor of today's show. And as you know, my wife Kennedy and I got married almost 2 years ago. And I imagine we'll buy a house, maybe start having kids sometime soon. And if something were to happen to me, the last thing I want the people I love to worry about is being able to pay the bills. So I trust Ethos to keep them protected. After watching someone close to me go through loss, I saw how quickly grief can turn into financial stress. That experience changed how I think about protecting my family. Life insurance isn't about expecting the worst, but it's about making sure the people you love are supported no matter what. That's why I recommend life insurance through Ethos. Ethos makes getting life insurance fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. There's no medical exam. Just answer a few simple health questions. You can get up to $3 million in coverage. Some policies are as low as $30 a month. Ethos has 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot with over 3,000 reviews. So help protect your family with life insurance through Ethos. Get your instant free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Application times and rates may vary. Nintendo Master with a spicy one. Should the Ravens trade for Max Crosby? We've actually talked Max Crosby trade a good bit on this channel over the last couple of weeks. I think they should. I think that is one way to prove to me that, hey, you are going all in this season. I think Max Crosby is what this team is missing from a production standpoint. I think more importantly, Max Crosby is what this team is missing from a leadership and an attitude standpoint. My only thing is there's been reports about him, not wanting to be a Raider anymore. There's been reports about him still wanting to be a Raider, and he did show up at Clint Kubiak's opening press conference on Tuesday, so take that with what you will. Lisa Frankel up next. I predict Jesse Minter's Coach of the Year. What say you, Joey? That is a great, great prediction. I'm trying to think of the other coaches that got hired that I would favor over him. Like, I don't think it's going to be Harbaugh with the Giants. I don't think it's going to be McCarthy with the Steelers. I don't think it's going to be LaFleur with the Cardinals. Yeah, I don't hate it. Maybe Clint Kubiak and Fernando Mendoza do some impressive things in Las Vegas, but I actually don't really see that happening. Let me see. NFL, I don't think Joe Brady's going to do very well with the Bills. I don't think Todd Monken's going to do that great with the Browns. Jeff Hafley might do fine with the Dolphins. Ooh, it's going to be Robert Saleh or Jesse Minter. You could stamp it right there. Kimberly Harmon, you think we signed Tyler Linderbaum contract and free agent? I hope we re-sign Tyler Linderbaum because if he makes it to free agency, you will get outbid. That's why, in my opinion, it is very, very important for you to get that done as quickly as you can. War for Cheesecake says trade back and take TJ Parker. I don't hate that. Like we talked about on my mock draft, or will be talking about on my mock draft tomorrow, I would not be surprised if this team makes a trade back in the NFL draft. Like, that would be the least surprising thing Eric DeCosta would do. TJ Parker, edge rush out of Clemson. I haven't looked into his tape too much yet. It depends where you trade back to. Like, if you trade back to the early 20s, late teens, I think that might still be a little bit early. But if you trade back to like 23, 24, he's still there, man, I could be convinced. Last question of the episode. Would you say Lamar gets extended by the end of this month? Ooh. End of February. You got about 2 weeks left in February. It's got to be before March 11th. I'll say no. I'm going to call my shot. Okay? I'm calling my shot. It is Saturday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Lamar Jackson will sign his extension on March 5th. Book it. That's going to do it for today's show. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. And make sure you guys got me followed on socials. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well. We'll be out with another video tomorrow. We got a mock draft. On Monday, we'll talk free agency predictions. We got you covered all weekend long, so make sure to lock us in.